Good morning, friends. What's going on? I hope you're all doing great. I hope that was a nice little presentation of bullying price around for FOMC. Didn't quite see terminus on that play yet. We still have the press conference part of the FOMC. Went up, just about hit terminus, and then slammed down for that fair value gap. If you remember from the update last night, I was mentioning it could possibly want to come into here, and that's quite all right. I do want to see it just continue to rip, melt faces. This was hilarious. Got everybody bullish. Yay, rate cuts. Wham! That's funny. Yeah, you want to wait a little bit. You don't want to be just hopping in. Because this is what they do. They wrecked everybody first. They wills wrecked everybody first. Yeah, my bots are in hyper mode for keywords that I don't want to say, obviously, right? We're just bullying price around for now. That's why you're not seeing me engage with nothing. This took some time, admittedly. Okay, letting price move and not being in it. Bragging rights aside, once it starts becoming favorable again, I will consider doing something, but we'll wait like, I don't know, 245 or so. Let's see what happens. This is kind of funny. This is one of those textbook retail reversal candlestick patterns in the daily chart to the left, and I would assume we'll railroad it. I think that, Sam was saying today how FOMC the rest of this week could just chop everybody up and then, later on continue on the journey. I'm down with that idea. I really like that idea. Get everybody just, look, as far as crypto is concerned, the knife's already been twisted. Like, everybody's like, oh, and that's that double bottom there. Nice. She got it. So that's price ripping off the bullish order block, flipping this fair value gap here. Just want everything out here. That's all I'm really interested in today. Might check it out. If we would have made a fair value gap at that spot, we definitely would have kept going. But that fair value gap was the ticket, and there wasn't one, and then we slapped down. That was funny. It was funny because I wasn't in it. And if you're new and you're trying to gamble trade news drivers, I'll teach you how to do it properly. And so will Michael. You wait a little bit, about 30 minutes, 15 minutes minimum, and then engage. Don't just hop in and start going crazy. So 23 seconds, and let's see if this is a fair value gap here, reaching back into this 15-minute bearish order block. I know it's dumping, but I want to see it go back up. That's fine. Three, two, one, boop. Now if it trades down a bit, that'd be nice. And reaches just a little bit into it, not too much. We got 5.5 minutes till the 2:30 p.m. news driver. How y'all doing? Did you guys try trading pre-FOMC? I did. I took a trade and then it came right back on me. Recording is on Twitter. Nobody told me about the contract change, and I rely on everybody being the first one to say, hey, contract change. And nobody told me. So I'm disappointed in all of you. So I load up my account and I go to take a little scalpy poo and it's like, no. I'm like, what? So I go to Tradeovate and it's letting me trade. And I'm like, okay, so I launch contract, close it. All right, I can trade. And then Wildberries, hey, contract change. Can you trade through? I think you can trade through, yeah. You just can't click the button 1 minute before or after. Maybe they say no holding positions through. I don't know. One of them you're not allowed to, but some of them you can. You might want to call customer service. Top step you cannot hold through. There you go. 15-second 2022 modal. Yeah, it should be pretty good if it's it was on that fair value gaps grade. Should be good. Yeah, it will say in the email too. I know the rules make it pretty easy, right? The rules for trading FOMC, NFP, and CPI. The rules make it pretty sweet for the funded traders. Do not trade till after. Wait till everybody's wiped out and then go at it. News driver, yes sir. TPTs always says no in my emails, so I don't play any news. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like that. But I remember when they had a Discord, they were saying you just can't open a trade 1 minute before or 1 minute after. And that could have been top step, but I'm just not exactly sure. Don't quote me. Make sure you know what you're doing. Because I just don't, I just don't be silly. So we made it above the midway point of that bearish order block on a 1 minute chart. That's pretty sweet. And we got a fair value gap touch. Order flow looks pretty sweet so far. We got a minute and a bit before we really find out. So if you screwed around, look out. Nice. 1 minute and 15 seconds till that 15-minute candle closes on the bottom right, and it's looking pretty sweet. If we close above half, I'm a happy camper. And I do not like camping. I do believe order flows are order flowing. It looks pretty sweet, huh? And we got the fair value gap at the midway point. That looks pretty hot. All right, it's time for it to work. So it should continue on its journey. If you guys are interested in Bitcoin 2-hour chart, you might get an order block here, and it looks like it might be pretty cool. Grab the mitigation block from the daily time frame premium and drag that throughout your chart. Glamping only. Yeah, I agree. Maybe someday when I'm mature, I'll appreciate camping. Especially when my kid's now 4 years old and slamming his fingers in car doors and falling out of the RV. Oh, it broke my heart. I think that's why I don't like camping. He hurt himself. It's like day 4, you know? I'm good with that. Let's see if we can continue on that journey. No violence for 2:30. Amazing. I was expecting kind of a twitchy Darth Maul kind of action going on. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Fit for business. What's up, buddy? Been thinking about a few of you guys the last little bit, wondering what you're up to. I'm not surprised it's being lame. But if we lose this, I'll have to set it up and try again. That's our line in the sand here. For Schmore upside. I know your other index futures traders are probably engaged in the market already. Go see what Patrick Whelan's up to. Powell is spiking. That's cool. It doesn't really matter what he says. People be like, oh, he touched his nose and wore a purple tie. Shush your face. That doesn't mean anything. And it never did. He was signaling to his buddies. You know they have cell phones now, right? Like they have emails, private servers. They don't need to do like, World War I secret service signals. It's still funny. Yeah, it is. All the action was when the music was on. I'm gonna get rid of this stuff until we see something cool. You. Man, just imagine if you're a breakout trader. Just imagine for a second, and you were chasing that, and then you thought it was going to tank because you thought that was selling pressure, and you chased that, and then it went, and now it's just right back here. You know, we've seen the daily retracement requirements on this guy, so think of it like a TGIF, but at the end of the day or session, you come up for that 30% retracement that I measured out earlier, and then came back down like a lower low for a Friday afternoon. And now just, it would be funny if it just stayed here all the rest of the day. I would laugh. Man, you guys with TPT, do you guys ever get logged out of your account? Just like randomly throughout the day? Because that's mega annoying. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, Ricky did it. MG, no. No, not on the Trading View connection on my device. Like, I get logged out all the time. Yeah, Sam too. Dude, it sucks. So yeah, like I got another firm here that I'm gonna use for lives because it doesn't log me out and it doesn't show my full name right across the screen. Psh. About 5 more minutes till you really start considering something might cool happen. Could hit consequent encroachment, be okay. Next spot I'm looking at is this puppy here. Yeah, I'll be in the middle of a recording and I'm gonna log me out. You can trade my capital, friend. One rule is make money. No, I think we gotta do some like legal stuff for that. I'm not set up for that. But I appreciate you. I thought it was a trading view issue. Well, it doesn't happen to my AMP account, and it didn't happen to Top Step when they were using Trade08. TBT customer service is non-existent. They're short-staffed. You just gotta wait for a reply. And if you keep sending them emails, you go to the bottom of the list. So you literally have to sit there and wait your turn. And be patient. But yeah, you're not wrong. I left another double bottom, man. That's so dumb. If it snaps up from here, I won't feel confident in the trade, that's for sure. Doesn't happen with Tradeify, so it's just so it's just their problem, eh? Man, all the people bullish on rate cuts right now are just dying. My inside, I'm dead. I've laughed myself completely to death. And it was everybody. Come on, run down there, snap it. Hiya. The faster it snaps down there, the funnier it is. So what did Powell say? He wasn't cutting rates or what? Or he was cutting rates? That'd be funny. I want to know. Anybody tell me? Can anybody let me know? I'm happy with this experience and letting yeah to sit here and do nothing. Welcome to professional doing nothing. People be like, what do you do for a living? Nothing. What do you mean? I do nothing professionally. I just sit here and do nothing. They're like, whoa. I wait for my thing, and then when I'm in it, I wait for it again. And I'm sitting here doing nothing. Oh, you mean you're a trader? No. No, I trade things, but I do nothing. I can wait another 4 minutes and a bit. Boop. See, when it doesn't immediately run away after it touches that, I become very uninterested. And that's why. Oh, we're working inside this. So 258 I'm looking at. Back to this guy. That's better. Just gotta jump up to that swing high right there. Harder. It's so lazy, but it's still something. This is an immediate balance price range with one single clean pass through it. There we go, took that swing high. Now I'd be interested in the next reprice lower. I'm watching this tail right here. How does it treat it? So that candle's tail came back perfectly with that wick. Immediate rebalance there. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. A savage repricing lower. So if it comes, it just took liquidity. So after it takes liquidity, it could want to dump down. So I'm measuring with this guy here. And I'm not worried about missing the move at all. There'll be something to get to key off of. This would be like your BOS plus FVG, as they call it, right? But I'm just noticing 5 minutes, great. So if it wants to continue up, it will keep continuing to materialize these things that we like to see. So I'll give it one more chance to go drop into that purple box, because that's still on the table. So there's the fair value gap right in here. That candle's low, that high. Now how does it treat this orange shaded area? So that's the deciding point right there. Does it run up and take out that swing high, confirming the trend is shifted, or does it snap down? Whoa, boom. So in about 15 minutes, I'm going to determine whether or not running back up into this fair value gap on the daily chart is possible. Or if we do it by Tuesday next week. Maybe Friday. So this is where when we touch these areas, I want to see it pop. And not lazily. That's lazy. He cut rate by 0.25. Are you serious? Oh my goodness. They are literally purposefully choking everything. And man, if Mr. T doesn't do something cool soon, man, you know, my mind's gonna start wandering. Now that's a little better. Give me a pop. See, it wasn't one candle, so I don't know. It's already lame. Okay. Boom. Nice. Oh my goodness. That's hot. We got a bigger one. Sweet. Ooh. Oh, that counts. It's pretty sweet. Yeesh. It's a lot of drawdown. .25. What a scumbag. I bet you he told Trump he was gonna do it by like 2 or something, and then just got out there and did whatever he want. Yeah, I know, right? That's what that rat John McCain did too with Obamacare. And to go repeal and replace it, and then he voted no at 2 in the morning or something. He ain't around no more. What do you think he was gonna do? I don't know, man. I guess they just got to keep this planet in a perpetual state of doom now. There's no going back. There's no going back to a time where there just wasn't doom everywhere. Apparently, every time it looks like sun's on the horizon, the planes come out and start peeing in the sky. Sam seems pretty upset. I bet. I freaking bet. Everybody's upset, man. Like, even for what I do, I'm still sitting here going, what the heck is going on? Like, you guys see the sorcery on a daily basis, and I'm still sitting here going, what the hell's going on? Because this is absurd. I really like that strong close, so I'm looking at either this guy here or there. And if it just takes off without me, I'm already bumped. I'm already kind of like, eh. hate when it does that. So which gap do you use? I would say measure that and measure whatever swing high it makes there. Split that in half and use the discount gaps. The premium gaps, you can, likely maybe, but especially on days where it's already shown to be a butt face, just wait for the discount gaps. This 5-minute candlestick is making me angry, running without me, not giving me an entry, journaling it. So it left a swing high here on the 15-minute. If we can kind of peter around here for a little bit and make a fair value gap, then maybe I'll be interested. But that would take obviously another 45 minutes to an hour. So as much as I want to stay and hang out, this FOMC was giga lame. It kind of materialized something cool for a minute and then railroaded them. Now coming back, like I want to take a long, I do. It's just not looking super hot and didn't give me a entry. I was going to take that and I was like, I'll just wait. I'll wait for the fair value gap. Okay, I'll wait for the fair value gap. I'll wait for the breaker. Oh, shucks, it's gone. It happens, guys. I mean, that's value in itself. I know many of you got trashed throughout here. I know you did. I know you weren't sitting there doing nothing. And you'll be like, how did he know? Because, man, I know what you're going through. You're going through the phase where you feel like you have to be in a trade every time the candles move. And, yeah, you don't. It's lame. Technically, it took that high. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. I felt their anger. I'm feeling everybody's frustration all at once. Boom. Just here with popcorn. Key off the VWAP for entry. That's funny. I read people were looking for a 0.5. 0.25 was baked in. I don't know that man, I like you, Mado. So I'm just gonna try and cool it, but I don't know what baked in, and I don't think anybody knows what baked in means. $20.25 is like the most pathetic move he could have done. He was just like, here you go, peasants. Like he should have snapped them down. Two full points. Yeah, I do want this thing to come in. It's not giving me an entry, so I'm just gonna let it go without me, and that'll be the lesson for the day. Because that actually kind of annoyed the crap out of me, to be honest. Too late, clown chirpow. So basically, I still want to see it go up. Never wavered. Was just waiting for a dip. I got it. Didn't get an entry. I'm letting it go. So that's it. I hope you guys had fun. Do the rate cuts actually move the markets long term? Or doesn't the market... The rate cuts, indicators, news, none of that stuff actually moves the market. No. No. But because these things are released simultaneous with market movement, you want to know what's going on? There's not enough liquidity in the market to raid currently. That's likely what's going on. The real reason. There's not enough exit liquidity yet. There's not enough anticipated money to come into the market and buy the market maker's short positions. Because as retail's coming in and buying the blow off top, smart money's building a short. And if there's not enough money, then price not going to go there. Regardless of what the popular belief is, the lifeblood of the market and the reason why it's going places solely is time and liquidity. That's the lifeblood. That's it. I'll get better. Trump will push that. Yeah. All we need is to have more people have more money in their pockets. We need the USA to become prosperous so the rest of the world can follow suit. Like, you guys want to believe what you want to believe in, that's fine. But if the US fails, the world fails. They are still the top dog. So why are we? Because it's a reflection of what we're looking at, bro. That's why. If they are anticipating that more people have money for more speculative investments, whether long or short. Yeah, okay, word. Yeah, exactly, word. Yeah, sad days. And even my trade going without me. Blah. Welcome to stupid FOMC. God bless you guys. Thank you all for joining. I hope you had at least a little bit of fun, and we will see you again maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Peace.